Honourable members, the Minister for Foreign Affairs is invited to apprise the House on the deportation of Ghanaian citizens in the United States of America and related matters. Honourable members, the Minister is here. I proceed to give the floor to the Minister.
I'm grateful to you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make this statement on the deportation of Ghanaians from the United States of America. By way of background, Honorable Speaker, upon assuming office as President of the United States of America, His Excellency Donald Trump instituted several executive actions, including executive order on deportation. Central to President Trump's immigration agenda was his firm commitment to carrying out mass deportations of individuals living in the U.S. without legal status. This initiative primarily targeted those who either entered the country illegally or overstayed their visas. As of 23 February 2025, the United States has implemented significant changes to its immigration policies, leading to profound consequences for migrant communities. These changes have resulted in mass deportations of undocumented migrants and heightened enforcement measures along the southern border with Mexico. Initially, the deportation efforts under the Trump administration prioritized undocumented immigrants and non-citizen residents with serious criminal records. However, reports indicate that individuals without criminal histories, those with final deportation orders, individuals with expired visas, and even recipients of temporary protected status, TPS, have also been subject to deportation. According to data from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, approximately 37,660 individuals were deported in January 2025. No Ghanaians were included in that number. However, 94 Ghanaians were deported from the U.S. in 2024. The ongoing raids by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement and reports of mass deportations have fostered a climate of fear and uncertainty within migrant communities. Actions taken by U.S. authorities to further bolster deportation efforts, President Trump signed a memorandum on 29 January 2025 directing the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to expand the Migrant Operations Center at Guantanamo Bay. This expansion will facilitate the temporary housing of up to 30,000 undocumented immigrants. Following this directive, 178 Venezuelan migrants were transferred to the facility and subsequently deported to Honduras, from where they were repatriated to Venezuela. As of now, no Ghanaian national is reportedly detained at this facility. Increased border security. The Trump administration's strengthened border enforcement has led to a notable reduction in illegal migrant crossings, particularly along the southern border. According to data from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, daily arrests in the El Paso sector of the border fell dramatically from 1,800 in 2023 to fewer than 100 in January 2025. This decline in illegal crossings is largely attributed to a comprehensive government strategy that involved collaboration across multiple federal agencies. The Department of State, Defense and Justice, alongside Homeland Security and ICE, work together to enhance border security and tighten enforcement measures. These efforts included increased border patrols, the construction of additional barriers, and the deployment of advanced surveillance technologies to monitor and prevent illegal crossings. The concerted strategy appears to have significantly disrupted migration patterns in the region, contributing to the reduction in arrests and crossings. However, Mr. Speaker, while the administration views this as a success in border control, it has also led to ongoing debates about the broader impact of migrant communities and the human rights concerns associated with such stringent enforcement measures. In partnership with Panama and Costa Rica, the U.S. has established agreements to temporarily detain deportees in these countries before they are returned to their home countries. Under these arrangements, migrants who are deported from the U.S. are often held in detention camps in Panama or Costa Rica as part of the deportation process. However, reports from detainees have highlighted concerning conditions in these camps. Migrants held in Panama, for example, have complained about harsh living conditions, limited freedoms, and restricted access to legal assistance. These complaints have raised concerns about the treatment of individuals awaiting deportation in these temporary detention facilities. The Ghana mission, Mr. Speaker, in Washington has reported that 2 Ghanaian nationals were recently deported to Costa Rica by ICE. The mission is working with the International Organization for Migration, IOM, for eventual transfer to Ghana. The involvement of these third-party countries in the deportation process reflects a broader U.S. strategy to manage its deportation efforts and control migration flows. Targeting of unaccompanied migrant children. A recent directive has instructed U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents to locate and deport unaccompanied migrant children who entered the U.S. without parental guardianship. This initiative targets over 600,000 unaccompanied minors who have entered the U.S. since 2019. The measures being implemented as part of this initiative include the use of DNA testing to verify familial relationships, to ensure that children are returned to their families or home countries safely. However, the initiative has raised concerns regarding the potential removal of children who have been living in the U.S. for extended periods, particularly those residing in state shelters or with non-relative sponsors. Among those potentially affected are Ghanaian children. As at now, there are 4 children who are known to the Ghana mission who fall under this category. These children, like many others, may face the possibility of deportation if they are unable to prove familial connections or guardianship under the new ICE directive. The move has raised alarm within advocacy groups who have expressed concerns about the impact it may have on the safety and well-being of these vulnerable minors. Our checks indicate that there have been no large-scale deportations of Ghanaian nationals. The immigration enforcement measures implemented by the Trump administration are having a significant impact on the Ghanaian community. One of the sources of confusion and concern has been reports that suggest that U.S. immigration officers are closely scrutinizing individuals with dual citizenship, particularly those who travel abroad using both their U.S. and Ghanaian passports. This has further heightened uncertainty within the Ghanaian community, as many individuals fear that their travel may lead to complications with immigration authorities. So, Mr. Speaker, currently, the mood within the Ghanaian community is one of fear and anxiety. Several leaders from various Ghanaian associations have expressed concerns about the growing apprehension among community members. There has been a noticeable decline in attendance at events, with many individuals opting to avoid public gatherings to reduce the risk of encountering immigration enforcement. Similarly, some Ghanaian churches have reported a significant drop in participation, which they attribute to the strict immigration measures enforced by the Trump administration. Many community members are reportedly hesitant to engage in social or religious activities due to the ongoing fears surrounding their immigration status. This trend, Mr. Speaker, is expected to continue unless the Trump administration eases its hard stance on immigration, offering reassurance to immigrant communities. As long as these measures remain in place, the climate of fear and uncertainty is likely to persist, affecting not only the Ghanaian community, but also other immigrant populations across the U.S. These are the measures the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have taken so far. In response to the ongoing concerns about potential deportations, the Ministry has begun engaging with all relevant stakeholders to prepare for the possible deportation of Ghanaian nationals from the U.S. A key step in this process was the stakeholder meeting held on the 17th of February 2025. The meeting aimed to develop comprehensive preparatory measures in anticipation of potential deportations, evaluate vulnerabilities within the Ghanaian community, and establish necessary support mechanisms. One of the key outcomes of the meeting was the identification of resources needed to provide assistance to deported nationals, including transportation to their final destinations and any available reintegration programs. Additionally, the stakeholders discussed the importance of coordinating efforts between the ministry, local organizations, our international partners, to ensure that Ghanaian nationals who are deported are adequately supported upon their return to Ghana. The meeting also focused on the need to secure budgetary allocation to address these challenges and ensure that the ministry can provide the necessary resources for deportees, as well as address the broader humanitarian aspect of the deportation process. The ministry's proactive engagement with stakeholders reflects a commitment to minimizing the impact on affected individuals and ensuring that proper support systems are put in place for those who eventually return to Ghana. Institutions represented at the meeting were the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of the Interior, the National Security Secretariat, Research Department, the Ghana Immigration Service, the National Investigations Bureau, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, the National Ambulance Service, the Department of Social Welfare, and Port Health. Now, Mr. Speaker, on the 21st of February 2025, I held a very constructive meeting with the U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Her Excellency Virginia E. Palmer. The meeting sought broader cooperation and understanding of exactly what U.S. authorities were engaged in, and we also sought to ensure that the deportations are carried out in a very humane manner. It will be recalled that there have been times in recent years where nationals have been deported in conditions which were most appalling. For example, deporting people in chains, in handcuffs, chaining them to their seats as they are flown into our country. We have stated that we will want these matters to be an incident occurring in the past, and that we do not want them to recur. These deportations must be carried out in a humane manner. During the meeting, it was also emphasized that the affected Ghanaians do not have criminal records, and that any Ghanaian currently serving a jail term will not be deported until their sentence has been fully served. And we have received full assurances from the U.S. Ambassador in Accra on these matters. Updates from the Washington mission indicates as follows. Currently, there are 150 Ghanaians in detention across various centers in the U.S. who are awaiting deportation for crimes such as rape, internet fraud, and illegal entry. None of the affected Ghanaians are in detention as we speak. 50 out of the 150 individuals have received final deportation orders from the courts. Their deportation is expected to take place by mid-year, mid-2025. The remaining 100 cases are either under appeal or have been dismissed. Representations have been made to U.S. authorities on behalf of one Ghanaian on the grounds of ill health, and he has been released to seek medical care. On the 20th of December 2024, our embassy in Washington was informed of another one Ghanaian with a medical condition who requested expedited removal, as his condition was not improving with the treatment he was receiving in detention. ICE was promptly notified and the individual was processed for removal, departing the U.S. on the 30th of January 2025. So that individual is now within our jurisdiction. 3 Ghanaians have also been processed and are scheduled to depart from the United States on commercial flights on the 19th of March 2025, the 28th of March 2025, and 1st April 2025, respectively. 10 Ghanaians have also been interviewed by the embassy to verify their nationalities and ensure that they have received a fair hearing. They are now awaiting the Department of Homeland Security to purchase their flight tickets before their travel documents for their deportation can be issued. The Ghana Embassy in Washington, in collaboration with Ghanaian immigration attorneys in the U.S., have been organizing virtual town hall meetings to offer legal guidance and support to nationals facing immigration challenges. Upon the issuance of final removal orders, the individuals' names will be forwarded to the ministry for further processing. It should be noted that the aforementioned cases existed prior to President Trump's assumption of office, with the exception of 2 Ghanaians who were deported to Costa Rica, as outlined in the actions taken by the U.S. authorities. In line with the ministry's established practices and in collaboration with the relevant authorities, arrangements will be made to ensure the reception of our compatriots upon their arrival in Ghana. This will include health screening, psychological support, assistance with specific needs, and transportation to their final destination. Reintegration. The ministry is in discussion with NADMO and other partners, including the International Organization for Migration, to extend support in reintegration and providing additional sources of livelihood to our compatriots upon arrival. Options include arranging skills training, microfinancing opportunities, and psychological support to help individuals reintegrate into the society and rebuild their livelihoods. Additionally, we will work with local authorities and communities to ensure that those returning are supported in their readmission into the society to enable them contribute to their communities. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the ministry continues to closely monitor developments related to the potential deportation of Ghanaian nationals from the U.S. to inform further actions. This ongoing monitoring will allow the ministry to stay updated on any changes in immigration policies, enforcement practices, or shifts in the situation that may affect the Ghanaian community. The operationalization of the Consular Fund, as approved by Cabinet, will be critical in supporting our affected compatriots returning home. It is anticipated that the ministry's budget, which is before this August House and awaiting approval, will receive your kind approval of the $2 million we have allocated to operationalize the Consular Fund. Mr. Speaker, based on these developments, the ministry will assess the need for additional measures, resources, or interventions to support affected individuals. By staying proactive and responsive, the ministry aims to ensure that Ghanaian nationals are well supported throughout this process, whether through legal assistance, reintegration programs, or other necessary forms of aid. Further actions will be determined in coordination with all stakeholders. But the message we want to send to our compatriots very clearly is that they are not alone in these difficult times. Their government and the people in Parliament will make sure that their needs, their consular needs, are supported. And Mr. Speaker, we will continue to do all we can to make sure that we are with them throughout these processes.